Hi kids. Let me show you where we're at here. I've been working on this, sanding on it like you wouldn't believe. And I got it where I got that chemical burn or whatever it was out of it, so got it sanded down pretty good. We'll keep going after it a little bit, just getting a little, finer and finer. And just about ready to try polishing it up a little bit. We'll have to see. It's pretty uniform. You know, at this point I've just been kind of going in one direction. I may see if I can swirl it a little bit with some really fine sandpaper. I was wet sanding it. That's why I'm getting these streaks in it when I do that. Anyway, that's coming along. I think we've got a nice uniform surface now, so we should be able to polish that up, make it look pretty. Let me set that aside. What I want to do right now is take another look at these speaker wires. They had a sort of some form of electrical tape or friction tape on them, and they're soldered together, and they were taped up, and it was all right. The speaker was working fine and everything, but I don't like that old tape. The tape was falling apart, and some of these connections inside are starting to look a little green. So I just want to, and these wires are too long. It doesn't look to me like this was factory. That one just broke because I've been fiddling with it. It doesn't look to me like this was factory. These are way too long. You take this and you shove it in here. You don't need all that wire in there to get that speaker connected. So that's what I want to do is shorten all this up and make better connections. It's not very well done from the factory. They're very small one-strand copper wire coming right off of the transformer. It's connected at this end. Hard to see here, but it's connected at this end, right there. And they're just tiny little copper wires, coming off the winds of the transformer, the coils, and or the coil, and that output transformer, and then soldered onto here. I like these connectors, so I'm going to keep these wires. I'm just going to make everything shorter and clean it all up. So what I want to do is I'm just going to clip this other wire off of here right now. Set those aside for a second. I'm going to make this shorter and strip it and get new bare wire so I can make better connections, and then I'm going to shorten these up and just kind of redo everything. So we'll take it in stages. Hang on. Okay, I shortened up this wire and cleaned it up and made better connection there. See if we can see. I got the two there. Like I said, they're just the single strand copper wire. It's pretty puny, but I think we're gonna go with it. It's worked this long, just trying to make things a little neater. And then I took the two wires that were attached, and I just made them less than half. I mean, I cut less than half their length off, so they're still probably 2/3 of what they were. Just want them to be shorter. Now, they don't need to be as long as they were. I can make one of them shorter still because it's still quite a bit longer than that one. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to shorten this one up a little bit more. It's got inner and outer insulation here. There you go. Okay, that's how we do that. That's ready to go. Okay, it's ready to go. We're going to use the heat shrink. I've got all kinds of heat shrink. I've got, tons of the stuff. It's lucky to have a electronic supply store here in town, so I'm able to buy this kind of stuff. So I've got lots of it. So we're going to make sure it's properly insulated as we put it back together. So I think what I will start with is piece of this. It's going to be big enough to go over all of that, but we'll cut it short. We don't need it that long. slide it down out of the way because you don't want the heat to get to it before you're ready. Hopefully that'll be enough out of the way, we hope. And then we'll take some smaller pieces. And we'll insulate these a little better. I think that should do. Alright, so if we take a piece of this red, see if we can make this work. We'll do that one. Slide it on there. And we'll kind of twist these guys together as best we can. It's pretty good. Okay. Nice connection on that. Let it cool for a minute, so you don't, if you slide your heat shrink down too fast while it's still really hot, it'll shrink before you get it exactly where you want it. So give this a second to cool off a little bit. Then you can slide that down there. I'm just going to slide it all the way down to the end of that, and we'll get this tuning knob out of my way. I'll give it a little bit of this. Shrink it on there. Okay. And we're ready to go after the other one. Put this on here. This one I'll just use this black, and it's a little too long, I think. What I should have done on the first one, and what I'll do on this one, is tin it a little bit. If I can get it to sit there, I will put a little solder on it before I try to splice it, and that just makes it easier. Makes the solder flow easier when you try to splice the two. So we'll kind of get these two to twist together like we did the other one, we hope. If it will. There we go. Alright. Now, just like that. Cool off a little bit. Put that away. Okay, that's not bad. Slide that down over that green one. Alright, and then we'll do the same thing with the lighter. Okay, let that cool for a second, and then we'll bring the big piece of heat shrink up, see if we can get it over all of that. Okay, about like that. Okay. About like that. And shrink that one too, just a little extra, you know, just to sort of reinforce and protect things. Flip it over, get both sides. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so now what I need to do, I have to be very careful not to monkey with this wire too much, because I don't want to break one of those little wires that's coming off the transformer. But anyway, that's that. And you know, my speaker's right there, so it'll be, you know, those just slide on there really nicely. I like that. But it just, you know, and that's plenty of wire to put this thing in there. I don't know why they had, you know, so much wire on this thing. So I'm much happier with that now. I've got much nicer connections. I don't have that nasty old tape in there. And I don't, it's like I said, those connections were starting to turn a little green in there, which wasn't a good sign. We're getting a little corrosion in there, so now everything's all nice and neat and well connected, and that's how you do that. And I just wanted to do that real quick. I noticed that I needed to do that today, so I thought I'd do a quick video on how to do that and show you the progress on the cabinet, which is, like I said, it's getting there. Won't be much longer. And I talked about the way this thing sort of hums and buzzes a little bit the last time, and I need to clean it. The tube connections probably aren't great because I really haven't cleaned anything yet. And I'll show you real quick. I have a couple of different things. I have just the general electronics cleaner, which you can buy anywhere, just about Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. And then I have the Deoxit, which is it's good stuff. I don't use it for everything. For general cleaning, I use this stuff because it's readily available and not too pricey. This stuff tends to be pricey, and it's a small can, and But for cleaning the tube contacts, it's a good idea to use this stuff. And let me get a rag here. I like to spray the tube socket and then just kind of get the tube in there the right way. Can't see. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And you just kind of put the tube back in the socket a couple of 3 times, to kind of get the contact cleaner on those tube pins too. And then I'm just kind of wipe it up because the chassis is dusty and dirty and everything. So I'm trying to do that, and that's how I do those to improve the connections. And these are the kinds of sockets. Some tube sockets you can do this, and some of them you can't. I was working on a Crosley recently. The little, it's really hard to see, the little tube pins inside, they're like this, and they grab that tube pin when you push it down in there, and sometimes you have to get in there with a pair of tweezers or my hemostat or needle nose pliers, and just give them a little squeeze to make sure that they are really grabbing that thing and making good contact, because over the years they can loosen up a little bit. That's always a good thing to check. So I'm going to be doing all of that. I'm going to be cleaning this cabinet or this chassis up, and just I spray a little bit of this on the rag, and then go after the top of this IF can. You can see right there. Just clean this one. It used to look like this one. This stuff works really good for getting all this dirt and stuff off here. And I'll clean the tuning capacitor too. I need to get in there and clean all that, and probably put new rubber grommets under it. But we'll get to that. Just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at. And the one thing that I didn't mention, let me see. Oh, okay. What I usually do while we're cleaning and everything is I use this for cleaning volume controls. I never use the contact cleaner for cleaning the volume controls. I think WD-40 works better. You just find an opening in it. They usually have some kind of an opening in it, and give it a quick spritz and just work it back and forth a few times, and it gets in there and it will clean all the gunk out of it. And that way it won't pop and crackle and make static when you're adjusting your volume. So I just do that. WD-40 for whatever reason seems to work best on these things. I really have come to, I never had much use for it before, but that's what I use it for now. So, I swear by it when it comes to cleaning cranky volume pots. So that's just a top tip there for you. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. Just wanted to give you a quick how-to on splicing wires, and tell you how I go about cleaning things like these tube sockets and things. So Hope that helped. Hope you appreciate it. Hope you like it. Be sure to stay tuned for the rest of this because we're making progress. We should have it done here pretty quick. And as always, thanks for watching.